कि वो बेचारे सारा काम करने के बाद रात में जग के उन्होंने कंसेप्चुलाइज किया और प्रेजेंट किया पेपर। मस्तिष्क में बात बहुत पहले से थी। I should start my paper, and of course it is a view that is critical, antagonistic, and undoubtedly it is in opposition to the established way of the historiography of modern India, and more specifically the freedom struggle of India. Yesterday I had used a term, anecdotal history, paraphrase history. Since our childhood days up to the university level, whether it is research or teaching, we work within a perimeter, a periphery, which is ideological periphery, created either by the university system or by the ruling dispensation of the country. Who is ruling over the country? And this has created a huge problem in understanding the revolutionary movement of India. This is the biggest problem. The way universities have produced researches, and the way political dispensation has governed the mind of historians, whether it is Sumit Sarkar or Bipin Chandra. I am taking these two examples for the sake of the thought I am trying to reiterate. One history which we must say unilateral Gandhian history. It has been written with a very linear perspective that Gandhi is a God incarnate, political God incarnate, and under his aura, influence and thought, India achieved independence. And the greatest tool that he used, that is non-violence. I am not anti-Gandhi, and this lecture is not an antithesis against Gandhi. That I want to make clear. The second opinion that appears to be revolutionary, but it is a very feeble presentation of ideological theories which were generated, created, crafted, designed, sculpted either in Russia or by the English socialist historians and leaders to create a socialist movement in India for the sake of a particular political ideology which was designed by the Labour Party of England. This has created a huge problem in our understanding of modern India. Now I am coming to one particular point that you already know. Congress, as a political party or a so-called parliament of that times which belonged to the people of India, was perceived by A.O. Hume, George Yule and many other Europeans. Indians, somehow moderate, whom we call moderate, or in Hindi actually at that time they were called political reformers. They were not moderates. They had defined themselves, whether Gokhale or Firoz Shah or Dada Bhai Nauroji, they called themselves political reformers. The quest was not for independence. This should be very clear to everybody. Second important thing that you find, the communist movement, where it was originated, whether M.N. Roy or Satyabhat or J.P. or Acharya Narendra Dev or any other leader, they were dependent for a theoretical base and ideological support on Ben Bradley or Philip Spratt or any leader who belonged to Europe. If these forces, political forces, were guided by European school of thought, and the people who were supporting this kind of labor movement, whether it was labor movement or was a well-defined communist movement, the injunctions were coming from the West. Injunctions were coming from Russia. Theoretical idea was coming from Europe. You have a socialist movement with Bain-Bradley thesis. You have a poor transformation of Bain-Bradley thesis that was adopted by Indian sociologists. I say it very firmly and very candidly, and for that I have a whole, you can say, study with archival sources. Now, I am coming to the second problem, one bigger problem, the anecdotal history. We are guided by a Upanyas novel, Anand Burdan. What is this Anand Burdan? What is this text Devi Chaudhrani? It is a novel, it will remain a novel. Whatever role it had played in freedom struggle, that is a different issue. But how Bankim's mind was working, we must understand that. Bankim was dishonored by the Britishers, and a Maharaja, Yogendra Narayan Rai, who was ruler of Lalgona, he sympathized with him and said, Chatterjee ji, you should stay with me in my court or my fort. And there was a priest. This priest narrated a story. And the Maharaja said, you write something which may trigger off a movement in this country. People will feel that our forefathers had fought either as sannyasi or fakir. So Bankim's mind started working, and he had already written some works. Durgesh Nandani had come. So it was a good food for his thought. He started working on sannyasi movement and fabricated some figures. Akshohanand, Bhavanand, and others, many others. The story of Kalyani in that is very interesting. But this is not based on historical fact. Let us come to the core issue. 1764-65, Battle of Buxar was fought. And from the field of Buxar, battlefield of Buxar, there emerged a report that this company is going to play a disastrous role in this country. They had realized it will work on a principle of divide and rule. There, one military commander leading a very important contingent, Topkhana, Hata Bahadur, said to Banaras Maharaja that brothers will be killed by brothers. This is what this company government wants. So we should revolt rather against the company, because the Mughal government in Awadh and Nawab of Bengal, they are going to make a compromise. Other forces must revolt. So rebellion began from Buxar itself. You cannot find its reflection in Indian literature. You will have to take recourse to the British literature of that time, most importantly, what company said in its report, and what was later on registered in the case of Warren Hastings. This has not come to the light, and this has not been displayed by any of our museum. Warren Hastings says, company says, neither Marathas, nor Mughals, nor Tipu Sultan, no other force is so powerful as disruptive and powerful force is Fateh Bahadur Shahi, the ruler of Saran Janpad, who is created tremendous trouble for the company. And it has been described repeated in Calcutta Review 1830 that he is the biggest danger and biggest terror for it. Now, one thing we find, Madar Fakirs, whether they were Faragul Shah, or there was a leader like Chirag Ali Shah, or there were sannyasis like Himmat Bahadur, Anup Bahadur, Balagiri Bahadur, we find one similarity. First, they were opposing company not on the line of religion, and there was no communal fight as such. There was one big issue. This company will stay if for a longer time India will be transformed into the poorest country. It will make your life hell if I have to come in common parallels. There is no recorded history created by our historiographers, only a speculative, dioramic sort of presentation is there in history, and it is full of fantasy about sannyasi withdrawal. Now I am just taking one example of one great rebellion, quoting the name of a caste, Nonia Jati. This Nonia Jati was selling saltpeter. And when I started a study of this particular Jati caste, I discovered a fact, they were creating 9 different kinds of salts. Yes, 9 different kinds of salt. They were selling these salts, they were quite rich. When the company came, this Nonias revolted, because they captured their business. And similar kinds of rebellions took place in India up to 1857. Now what they have done, our historians have done, they have described every local revolt as a sporadic and spontaneous revolt. These two words have been very frequently used. क्षेत्रीय एवं स्वतः स्फूर्त आंदोलन थे. यह सबसे गलत बात है. They were not spontaneous, they were not sporadic, they were of course of regional revolts, but undoubtedly not spontaneous. There were economic grievances, social grievances, cultural grievances, political grievances. It was all about downfall of system that India was. So this is one major issue regarding 1857. Again, they created something based on one particular story of Sepoy withdrawal, Mangal Pandey revolted. Have we ever tried to realize how many Pandays were there? One student, my Pandey, is sitting here. See the British records, they say they called every revolutionary a Pandey and every revolutionary a Baba. See that what Douglas says, ओ बाबा लोग तुम लोगों ने क्या कर दिया, ओ बाबा लोग तुमने क्या कर दिया. He is addressing to the Sipahis of Eastern India, Bihar and Eastern Pradesh, and says बाबा लोग, and then says अरे पांडे लोग तुमने ये क्या कर दिया. And every battalion revolting against them was called Pandey Paltan. You have many hidden stories. Why Ishwari Pandey was hanged if Mangal Pandey alone was the culprit? Why Sipai Sitaram Pandey was hanged? Actually, there were traditional social leaders recognized, identified by common Indians as Brahmin Pujaris who were working in the army. And at that time, there was no question of mistrust. पंडित जी कह रहे हैं, ठीक ही कह रहे हैं. इसलिए everybody was following the पंडित जी. यह एक बात है जो ब्रिटिश रिकॉर्ड में हर जगह लिखा हुआ है कि ये पांडे लोग, बाबा लोग इनको मिसगाइड कर रहा है. और इसलिए बिना किसी क्राइम के ईश्वरी पांडे को मास्टरमाइंड मानते हुए कलकत्ता में जाके फांसी दी गई. असली तराना क्या था, सीन क्या था? Mangal Pandey was silent in a bullock's cart. And Ishwari Pandey was crying, listen, oh Indians, listen, whether Muslims or Hindu, Brahmins or Shudra, you must listen, it will destroy your country. Mangal is ignorant, Mangal is innocent, he is not the culprit. If I am being hanged, there is a reason. मुझे फांसी ये लोग चढ़ा रहे हैं, इसका कारण है, और इस कारण को तुम लोग भी जानते हो। इसलिए ये जरूरी है कि हम उस इतिहास को भी सामने लाएं जिसमें सीताराम पांडे और ईश्वरी पांडे भी चरित्र है। आपको गंगू मेहतर को सामने लाना पड़ेगा। आपने गौण किया है अजीनन बाई को, आपने गौण किया है झलकारी बाई को, आपने गौण किया है गंगू मेहतर को। आपको जानकर आश्चर्य होगा कि कानपुर में नाना साहब इज ए मास्टरमाइंड। कार्ल मार्क्स हैज रिटन, नाना पंत वाज द आर्किटेक्ट ऑफ द रिबेलियन, बट ही सेज that there has been created a terrific, horrorful environment in Kanpur by a bhangi, a scavenger. His name is Gangu Mehta. So you have many heroes, unsung heroes. In 1857, you are running sort of time. I will come to the point. Now to the second or third phase. I am just pointing out certain things. आप उसको विश्वास कीजिए और सुनिए और आपको बिल्कुल समझ में आएगा। ध्यान दीजिए, चौरी चौरा हटाकर, राइट? गांधी जी was not clear. He had said in 1 year independence will come, and after that he said that people are not in control. They have taken the path of violent revolution, that is wrong. नेहरू जी ने भी कहा कि मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। सुभाष चंद्र बोस ने भी क्या समझ नहीं, गांधी जी ने कहा मूवमेंट बंद कर दो। तो पीपल मूवमेंट कहीं कहीं बंद किए गए हैं, इसकी भी समीक्षा होनी चाहिए। एक दूसरी बात है, हम लोग पढ़ते हैं सिविल डिसोबीडियंस वाज ए ग्रेट मूवमेंट। अब आप उसकी जांच कीजिए, पड़ताल कीजिए, तो आपको पता चलेगा ये प्रिकर्सर मूवमेंट, साइमन कमीशन, एंटी साइमन एजिटेशन वाज द रियल मास मूवमेंट, नॉट द सिविल डिसोबीडियंस। देयर इज एन आइडियोलॉजिकल रप्चर। व्हाई साइमन कमीशन? लाला लाजपत राय किस में लाठी खाए? भगत सिंह और ये लोग कहां किस आंदोलन के दौरान उग्र हुए? और कौन सा आंदोलन है जिसमें देश का युवा वर्ग क्रांति के मार्ग पर आ खड़ा होने के लिए तैयार हो गया? पहला, हम चंद्रशेखर आजाद के रक्त से जो स्नात धरती है वहां से बोल रहे हैं। 1922 तक बनारस में संस्कृत और कर्मकांड पढ़ने वाला व्यक्ति 1924 के दौर का सबसे बड़ा क्रांति का वाहक बन जाता है। It was failure of the Gandhian theory, Gandhian notion. This must be accepted. Without being critical to Gandhi, I am saying it. वही जन्म होता है एक पार्टी का। आप उस पार्टी का आइडियोलॉजी क्यों नहीं देश को पढ़ाना चाहते? सचिंद्रनाथ सान्याल ने क्या लिखा? वो जो लिखा, इनको 2 रूपों में हम लोग समझेंगे। चंद्रशेखर आजाद played a very important role in defining the very philosophy of the battle. That was known as philosophy of the bomb. And Gandhi, in criticism to that article, wrote cult of the bomb. गांधी जी ने उसके प्रत्युत्तर में लिखा है cult of the bomb. Why this philosophy of bomb was created? It is well defined. It was to make the deep hear our voice. बहनों को हमारी आवाज सुनाई पड़े, इसलिए हम बम की राजनीति करते हैं। बॉम्ब हैज ए मैसेज, बॉम्ब हैज ए मीनिंग, बॉम्ब हैज ए मिशन। बॉम्ब का एक उद्देश्य है, बॉम्ब एक संचेतना को पैदा करने के लिए इस देश में फोड़ा जाएगा और बम की आवाज इन बहनों को सुननी पड़ेगी। चंद्रशेखर आजाद हिंसक नहीं थे। मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूँ, भगत सिंह भी हिंसक नहीं थे, न राजगुरु हिंसक थे, न सुखदेव हिंसक थे, न बटुकेश्वर दत्त हिंसक थे, न योगेंद्र शुक्ल हिंसक थे, न बैकुंठ शुक्ल हिंसक थे। इनमें से कोई भी व्यक्ति हिंसक नहीं था। वो क्रांति के दर्शन को समझता था और वह देशज समाजवाद की खोज कर रहा था। ये क्रांति के घोषणा पत्र में लिखा हुआ है, जहां पर सचिंद्रनाथ सान्याल ने इस दर्शन को, संविधान को बनाया, और वो भी आपके वाराणसी की धरती में रह रहे थे। उसमें क्या है? Why communists even rejected them? I am not talking about Gandhians. Communists who consider themselves as revolutionary, they reject this theory only because of one particular word. And what is that word? if you go through that constitution of Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, these revolutionaries were the first who took the name Hindustan. भारतवर्ष उनको पता था, चंद्रशेखर आजाद जब कर्मकांड की दीक्षा रहे थे, लेकिन उन्होंने मध्यकालीन प्रचलित शब्द को लिया है. And they have said, common Indian now calls Bharatvarsh Hindustan, so there should be Hindustan. This word should be used. कितने सेकुलर थे. दूसरी बात उन्होंने कही, सोशलिस्ट, if India will be independent, our mission will be to make India a socialist nation. आपने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में किस अमेंडमेंट में जाके सोशलिस्ट शब्द को अपनाया है? ये विद्यार्थी, प्राध्यापक सभी जानते हैं, लेकिन they mentioned it very explicitly. Thirdly, this Congress party and other political parties of that time didn't use the word republic for India, Ganatantra. They used Ganatantra and a Sarvabhaumik Ganatantra. Sachindranath Sanyal says, स्वराज या स्वतंत्रता का प्रश्न पैदा नहीं होता है. स्वराज का शब्द भटकाऊ है. स्वराज नहीं, स्वतंत्रता पहली जरूरत है. स्वराज अगला कदम है. ये लोग सोच रहे हैं स्वराज मिलेगा और फिर हम 50 साल स्वतंत्रता का संघर्ष करेंगे. They were very clear that the mission, their goal is स्वतंत्रता and just not self governance. ये दूसरे किसी राजनीतिक दल के पास नहीं. तो ये भी एक इनके बारे में महत्वपूर्ण विषय है जो आना चाहिए. और एक तीसरी बात, इस देश में हुई सबसे बड़ी जन क्रांति किसान आंदोलन था. अखिल भारतीय किसान आंदोलन था, जिसको सहजानंद सरस्वती चला रहे थे. और उसी किसान आंदोलन ने ही इनकलाब जिंदाबाद नारा को स्वीकारा. ये कांग्रेस ने नहीं स्वीकारा. ये नहीं कह रहे थे इनकलाब जिंदाबाद. The peasantry, rural peasantry, marginal farmers came with their powerful, grandiloquent voice, radical voice saying इनकलाब जिंदाबाद. उसको जननारा बनाने का काम किसान आंदोलन ने किया था. और अब हम उस बिंदु पे आते हैं. Every letter was written from Birla House, from the house of Jamnalal Bajaj. They were the capitalists. Whether they were socialists, जेपी चिट्ठी लिख रहे थे तो भी बिड़ला हाउस से. सरदार पटेल चिट्ठी लिख रहे थे तो भी बिड़ला हाउस से. गांधी जी भी चिट्ठी लिख रहे थे तो भी बिड़ला हाउस से. यदि वहां पर पैसा पहुंच रहा था, जो थैली शाह थे, ये थैली शाह कांग्रेस गांधी नेतृत्व के आंदोलन को पैसा दे रहे थे. यदि दो आंदोलन जनता के पैसे पर टिका हुआ था, तो एक आंदोलन रिवोल्यूशनरी आंदोलन था, क्रांतिकारी राष्ट्रवाद था, और दूसरा किसान आंदोलन था. For their ideology, they never tried to discover a support, manage a support from abroad. And for money, they never spread their hand before the capitalist. So I consider it as a real mass movement and real revolutionary movement. Third important thing that should also be brought to light, I was adding to somebody's paper. 7 lakhs of Indians living in different countries, Malaya to Singapore, Singapore to Tokyo, Tokyo to other countries. They made a declaration, they are with Azad Hind Fauj and they will fight for an independent India. This story has also not got a very realistic representation anywhere in historical writing or unfortunately also in museum. Now I am coming to the last point. 2 बिंदु. हमारे देश में नौसेना विद्रोह हुआ. हम क्या पढ़ते हैं केवल कि सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल नौसेना के अधिकारियों को समझाने के लिए गए कि देश को आजादी मिलने वाली है, आप शांत हो जाइए. वो दूत बनकर गए. हमें ये भी पढ़ना पड़ेगा कि कोई शीलभद्रयाजी नौसेना के साथ काम कर रहा था और वह चंद्रशेखर आजाद, भगत सिंह और सुभाष चंद्र के मिशन को नौसेना विद्रोह के मामले में सफल करना चाहता था. नौसेना विद्रोह क्यों? Why this नौसेना विद्रोह is important? As far as the 3 different, armies, whether Navy, Air Force और हमारी थल सेना जो भी थी, इन दिनों में the British officers were larger in number in Indian Navy. They were larger in number. and many of the wives of admirals and daughters of admirals, they were working with Gandhi Ashram. It is also on record. And one fellow who was considered a right hand of Subhash Chandra Bose was active with the admirals, Indian admirals and officers at that time, and he was also captivated. So we have a multi-pronged, multi-dimensional, multifaceted revolutionary movement. All these ideas should also come in our museum, and this very linear perspective of history has to be discarded. Thank you very much.
वे में जो प्रेजेंटेशन किया that is very most appreciating, और I think आपने बड़े facts के साथ इतना डेप्थ में रिसर्च किया, और facts के साथ क्या, अगर कोई क्वेश्चन अभी भी हो तो कि प्लीज केवल एक क्वेश्चन, क्योंकि we are having not